Even the people that have been loyal to the party, even loyal to Debbie over the years, we know quite a few of them. They've had it with the party. They've had it with this, don't ask questions, don't try to inject, radical ideas like democracy and healthcare, labor rights.
The truth is that the Florida party, from everything I've seen, from everything I've heard, from everyone I know who's been involved, it's just constant infighting. That's all they do. It's constant infighting and backstabbing, and nothing ever gets done. Everybody blames everyone else, and it's just they're always fighting about something. And it's always something that most regular people, voters, wouldn't even care about. Like, this is the problem, and they just can't get anything done. But all they do is fight amongst themselves. That they're completely feckless.
It's been, I've always said that the measurement of the actual party's distress has been going on more or less on the trajectory of where Wasserman Schultz has been since she's entered the United States Congress. And you can see how the state has shifted from what was once a leaning blue state to now a red state. Now, does it have to stay that way? Not necessarily. But as we had pointed out when we were on with Status Quo, you look at Ron DeSantis now on the national stage and you recognize that he really lacks political chops. In fact, he lacks them in such a way that he actually makes Rick Scott look like a great politician. Rick Scott is Rick Scott, believe it or not, is an infinitely worse human being than Ron DeSantis is. But in the world,
it's a close call. I mean, the jury's still out on that.
Jury's still, well, Ron's working really hard.
He's trying to catch up. I mean, and that's the other thing. Rick's a lot older. So, there's time. The night is young. The night is young.
But what you learn is not just this idea. It's not this idea.
We already redistricted.
Yeah.
We redistricted the 22 election, the midterm, was the first time that the new districts were in play. But we didn't know the district lines until like a couple of months before that election. So this is really going to be the first election that the new district lines are in play, that people have been aware of those district lines throughout the entire campaign process.
And so
this is the first time really that we're watching full-on campaigns with current district lines.
So unfortunately, when you look at what's going on, particularly with the Florida Democratic Party, and you're trying to fully understand exactly why somebody like Ron DeSantis has been as popular as he has been. Now, he may be popular based on policies within independent and GOP voters, but there's no question that when he won by the sizable margin that he won by, it wasn't just a reflection of him as a candidate. It was really a reflection of the Florida Democratic Party as a whole.
Yeah. That
you would have to bring out Charlie Crist again, who's been running for office for over 2 decades.
It was
over
silly.
2 decades.
But quite honestly, I mean, the election, the only reason, and I said it then, is that he came within 20 points is because of the women's choice issue.
Yeah.
He would have been further out than that. There was it wouldn't have mattered, because the Democrats in the state, they are out of ideas. They have no ideas and they have no new people.
Well, here's the thing. They're out of ideas in terms of how they think they can swindle the average voter into believing that they're the lesser of two evils. And in reality, they're just as corporate captured a party.
Yeah, they're offering us nothing. Now, that isn't to say that there aren't decent Democrats in our state, like legislature, because there are, for sure there are. They're always playing defense, but
Shevrin Jones, Marie Woodson, Anna Escamani.
I mean, there's
Nixon,
definitely
Ashley
people,
Gantt.
like there are people that
Hillary Castle. There are good people.
Yeah.
There are.
Like Dottie Joseph, like there are, but they're the minority. And granted, that's our group.
A super
they're a super minority. But no, we have good people. This is what I always said, like Florida is not red. Florida is purple, fairly populist, and has been completely commandeered by crazy red people in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
of course,
the problem.
Because the Democratic Party has been captured by corporate special interests, you don't have a Democratic Party that's out there fighting on behalf of working people.
No.
That's tantamount to being the top issue. And so when you have a primary situation where the mask comes completely off and they admit that it's a rigged game.
We're not having a primary.
We're just not having one.
We're just not having one.
We are literally picking by acclamation.
They
Joe Biden gets all of the delegates in the state of Florida because we say so.
Well, and again, this is not to say that we think he'll end up being the nominee, because again, when we've said this before, they don't need to even hold primaries. That's the beauty of their little private club, right? It's so nice of them to allow us to think that we're having a say so, but at the end of the day, they could do whatever they want at their convention.
Well, that's why you have Newsom waiting in the wings. It's why he debated, DeSantis.
Yeah, like none of the, first of all, the entire appearance of the primaries is so ridiculous at this point, this season in particular. Just look at what's going on with this whole New Hampshire, South Carolina nonsense. He is, and by he, I mean Biden, but it's his administration. They are so alienating so many different people and pushing them away. Because New Hampshire is pissed.
Oh, as they should be.
I mean, the Democrats in New Hampshire are pissed.
Yeah, in a state like Florida, you can get away with it, but it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense for this reason. The amount of legal costs you're going to have as a result of, let's just say, Dean Phillips, challenging the validity of whether or not there should be declaration of delegate allocation by acclamation.
I mean, they are filing legal. There's going to be legal cases being brought against the Florida party,
but they're going to end up spending so much more money on on legal eagles. This is going to become such a big. You have literally,
which is a testament to their money management skills.
Well, that's another thing. This is part of the reason why so many people. This is why the libertarian movement is growing leaps and bounds in this country, because you look at the two parties, but especially the Democratic Party, that cannot get out of their own way when it comes to wasting money, like the pork aspect of politics. The other thing about the Democrats that is notorious, especially on Capitol Hill, is that they pass bills that are infinitely bigger than the Republicans pass in terms of their bills. Democrats pass bills that are like this thick.
It's so nobody will read them.
1,000 pages, so that no one will read them.
So nobody will read them.
Everything is just a corporate giveaway. And now you're looking at a situation here in this state where their idea is, we're just not going to hold a primary. That's going to save us. That's going to save us money.
But what's so interesting about it is it seems to me that more people outside of Florida are so shocked and awed and outraged about it. Whereas I'm not, I'm telling you, in Florida, nobody's talking about this here. It's not an issue.
But it's insane.
It is still
funny. But it is still funny that they kind of have this idea in their head that they're doing themselves a favor by doing this. No, this is going to burn you so much worse.
They think they're saving money. They think they're saving money, but I don't know. I know.
You can't, because any legal challenge is going to force you to do this. And but the whole thing comes full circle from this perspective. This is not one of those states that, even when Bernie was running in this state, he never put a significant amount of infrastructure into Florida.
No.
Either because he knew he couldn't, it wasn't in a place, let's say 8 years ago, maybe it's more so now. But this state was not his type of state.
No, and we saw the infrastructure that he had here in 20, and it wasn't pretty.
Correct. And so as a result, Biden won the Democratic primary in Florida very easily.
Yes, but Bernie didn't, again, because Bernie really didn't put any. He really didn't. They just assumed Florida was a waste of time anyway.
Now they. I'm not saying that whether it is Williamson, Uygur, or obviously
it
Phillips.
Can't be Uygur.
Okay, it can't. Okay, so let's just say.
Okay, I'm sorry. I understand that we might not like the natural born thing. I get it. We don't like it. It's elitist. It's white. I don't care. It is what it is until further notice. And there is not enough time between now and then to challenge the constitutionality of said thing. We're not going to have an amendment passed in time. So right now, he's wasting everybody's time.
Fair enough.
It is what it is.
So between Williamson and Phillips, if they are going to legally challenge this, and I believe they will, the Florida Democratic Party is going to end up wasting so much more time and effort to have tried to prevent them from getting on a ballot that they could never have gotten more than 25% of the vote combined.
Right. That's the thing. Joe would be easy 70 here. Easy
in
70.
Florida.
In
Absolutely.
Florida. So the fact that they're doing it's going to cost them more. And it's a bad look, but they don't really care about that.
We wouldn't expect anything less.
No.
And when people ask why the Florida Democratic Party is in such shambles, yes, it starts with Wasserman Schultz, but my goodness, it is a absolute rot at its core. And this is a prime example of that.
It's a problem.
it's a problem.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.